Still trying to just make everything cooperate. Yes. Let's go over here. Though I like it. Needs to be over here. Well, shit. I don't know what's holding it up, but we'll find out. There. Jeez. Technical stuff. Lots and lots of technical stuff. Just play some music for a minute while I finish getting set into the... Oh, man. So here we go on another chat-related adventure. Let's see. But I can't deafen. That's the thing. There's new unreads in my restream. Wow. I don't even know that it actually put that stuff in there. Guess it does. Well, good times. Well, there's Kelsey. She's on Facebook. Just trying to finish getting set up here, waiting for people to show up. Trying to... Oh, there we go. Find my news articles that I posted. Good deal. I feel like everything's shoved over this way. Try to balance out the light somewhat. Botmom Gaming on Twitch. Let me get shared out. I shared on Botlot, but it means more coming from you than it does from me, that's for sure. Oh. Yeah, it's not much better. Hey, anyway. Oh. How's it going this morning? You hear me okay on the Twitch feed? That's usually the issue first thing in the morning. It's whether my voice is coming through Twitch. Okay, what I was going to put. We're good. What camera do I use, by the way? It is the generic C920 Logitech, the C920 Pro. Had it long before it became a popular one to use for streaming. I do have a DSLR that I'm going to get linked up to the new computer whenever we make it. And we'll try that one out too. Looks very clear without the green screen. Yeah, I haven't messed with those effects yet. I mean, literally the setup that I've got going right now, I'm in the corner of our living room, and it's one of the only surfaces other than the couches that just doesn't have stuff, moving remnants or debris pre-packed or post-packed or whatever. So this is the one clear area that I can have set up. I mean, even the roll top, you can see the cord for the lights is strung up over the top and up into the roll top so it doesn't get cut off by accident when we wrap it up and move it. Signs of moving everywhere. So yeah, I keep checking randomly to find another 920 because I want to have a multi-camera setup just in case the DSLR doesn't work out. I love that desk. My grandma had one. Yeah. This was my wife's father's desk. And we don't use it for much, but that's why we keep it. It's because it was Richard's desk. And at times I think that he came along with his desk. It's either that or all the fly tying equipment that I inherited too. But yeah. So we're still in the hurry up and wait pattern. Just need to find a place in Florida but really we have another 2 weeks before our moving allowance kicks in, and then we for sure know exactly how much to spend on everything. So, to be honest with you, that's where part of the streaming computer is coming out of. Yeah, it's hard. That's part of my problem, really, is the separation anxiety, and I'm sure that's part of what's going on with Kathy and the place that she's in Ocala now. That's where the hospital is in Ocala. And we rented essentially it's a manufactured home or whatever, a mobile home. Nutyella, what's up? She's renting a place it was through Airbnb, I think, or one of them. So we rented it for a month. the guy that rented it to her has like 6 places in the same park. So it was like, well, if you need to stay for another week or 2 or whatever, and this place gets rented, and I've always got another place you can stay for a week or 2. So it's her and the cat and a suitcase full of stuff, and, well, more than that, like 3 totes and a suitcase full of stuff that she's got. So really, when she's working, it ends up being, she goes from scrubs to the shower to a t-shirt and sleep. Well, she did take the cat, and I think it's better for her this time than it was in Maryland when she was just literally by herself. So yeah, the cat is her baby, that's for sure. And he's not very good as a cat, let's put it that way. He was taken from his litter mates probably too soon, and he was raised with dogs. So he's more of a puppy than he is a kitty, so we call him Puppy Kitty. I have several names for him, depending on my level of aggravation at that time. One of my favorites is Captain Fat Ass. But he's not that fat anymore, but he's still heavy and in the way. He makes a better doorstop than he does a cat. But it's a doorstop with an attitude, that's for sure. Recenter Facebook here, that's just weird. So much ceiling on that. But so bought Mom, I had a fat black cat named Dusty. He was the best little demon kitty ever. Yeah, they're all different, and he hates his own tail, I swear. When he gets really freaky, yeah, he just gets fascinated with his own tail and tries to attack it. And he used to go in our kitchen and do it here in the house in Colorado. Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. That's exactly what he's like. You just all of a sudden will hear him thumping around in the kitchen. It's because he's spinning around, and then he falls over. Occasionally he'll actually catch it and bite it, and then he, makes his own noise and gets even madder instead of giving up, going, hey, you know what? There's a causality to my pain. Yeah. So, exactly. The Twitch data, when you stop streaming, you get data reports from most of the services that you use. Twitch has 4 very simple things to become an affiliate. 50 followers, need to stream for at least, I think it was 7 hours or 7 days in a month. And there's so many hours, like, 20 hours or something like that in a month. And, we smashed that. 20 hours, no problem. Days of the week, when I was streaming gaming, I was streaming every day, multiple times a day, smashed that, no problem. But having 5 people chatting at the same time is difficult for some reason. We get 4 out of 5 all the time. 4 out of 5 all the time. Let me look here. Oh, it's just recipes that my shopping list programs thinks that I need. All right, so we have a couple of new followers, so we probably only need like 2. 3 out of 4. There was 3 out of 4 of us consistently. I know it actually gave us the average of 4, but just enough people cycled in and cycled out, or participated in chat, I should say. Yeah, because it said that we had like eight or 10 people, which was up from the previous stream. But yeah, it was interesting. It gets frustrating sometimes, but if I stream my gaming right now, that average just goes, through the floor, because I'm just a bot playing a game that everybody else is playing, or I'm playing a game that next to nobody's playing and nobody comments on. So, yeah, so I mean, we got really close on the last stream, but frustrating. So this is my one thing about having a beard, is I always play with it. And it's partially because, the old barber thing. I used to trim it all one length. And so I've got the line of demarcation that goes right across here that I have to blend out every time that I see it. And then there's just the points that come down here where it wants to curl. So I can't wait to see what the humidity does to my beard if I let it get long. I'm using shampoo for curly hair to relax the curl, and it's working so far. There's a whirl over here that does goofy stuff, and it's straightening that out pretty good until we get to Florida, probably. But anyway, yeah, fun stuff. Yeah, it is a pain, and I mean, so I tease my family all the time because they tell me I look better with a beard. And I'm like, so you're telling me I look better with at least 50% of my face covered up? Gotcha. Sometimes I go up, okay, well, maybe 2/3 of my face covered. I look better. All right. So I give them crap all the time about that. Let me put on my fancy medium range to close glasses. But yeah, they were these last ones that we ordered. If I ever got them as a sponsor, it'd be great. But it's just a eyeglass manufacturer themselves. I can get about 2 or 3 pairs for the cost of one normal. And we even got, I don't know if you can read that in there very well, SeazndMedic put on the working glasses and on my sunglasses. Not like anybody else is going to see it except for on here, at least on these ones, but on the sunglasses, they will. They've got the UV and blue light protection. Well, all of my glasses do, actually, but anyway. Dad has a mustache, or has had a mustache my whole life. He shaved it once. It was awful, freaking weird. Told him he can never do it again. Yeah. I mean, the last time I shaved it off was, getting a little bit freaky about wearing masks and wanting a good seal and all that stuff. But I really only go to the store and back. We don't typically go very far. It's when I get to Florida, we'll see. I mean, maybe I'll go back to my goatee and Van Dyke and take all this off so it'll fit in the mask. So we'll get rid of all that. I don't know. For years I had the goatee and Van Dyke. But anyway, good times. Let's see. Yep, we're up to 48 followers on Twitch. That's good. Very good. Do, 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 do. Let me check with my Discord. I put all my news articles in a new line on Discord. There we go. That's weird. I didn't even touch it, and that's what came up. First story that popped up on my Google feed this morning. Squirrel test positive for the bubonic plague in Colorado. Is the music too loud? If it's interfering with my voice, let me know. I'm just trying to drown out the fans in the background. Yeah. Public health officials have announced that a squirrel in Colorado has tested positive for the bubonic plague. In the town of Morrison, Colorado, in Jefferson County, which is west of Denver, they made the announcement saying that the squirrel is the first case of plague in the country this year. Okay, good deal. It helps me out, at least. It keeps me going. Sometimes, depending on the song, it hits all the right beats, and everybody's like, yeah, your microphone's making a weird noise. So the Jefferson County Public Health, in a statement, said plague is an infectious disease caused by the bacteria Yersinia pestis and can be contracted by humans and household animals if proper precautions are not taken. So it's possible for humans to get infected with bubonic plague through bites from infected fleas or by direct contact with blood or tissue of an infected animal, such as from a cough or a bite. Yeah. Animals, if they eat an infected animal, so if your cat gets a mouse infected with plague or eats the fleas, it can get plague. No. This is about mom. This is an adult stream, so we'll throw it up there. It's like, we're all fucking doomed. Well, oddly enough, symptoms of plague may include sudden onset of high fever, chills, headache, nausea, and extreme pain and swelling of lymph nodes. Sound familiar? Occurring within 7 days after exposure, plague can be effectively treated with antibiotics when diagnosed early. Anyone experiencing these symptoms should consult a physician, says the Jefferson County Public Health Department. So, yeah, Jefferson County is west of Denver County, where Denver proper is. Let's see. I swear I felt something big coming in 2020, but was wildly underestimated with what would actually happen. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. The risk for contracting bubonic plague is extremely low, as if proper precautions are taken, including eliminating all food sources, shelter, and access for wild animals around the home, not feeding the wild animals, maintaining a litter and trash-free yard to reduce wild animal habitats, and scavenging. People having pets should avoid all contact with sick or dead animals, wild animals. If your pet is showing signs of illness, get them treated immediately. So, yeah, then it goes back into talking about the Black Death in Europe, a pandemic that swept through Asia and Europe. According to National Geographic, it was believed to start in China in 1334. They always say everything starts in China. Spreading along trade routes, reaching Europe via Sicilian ports in the late 1940s, the plague killed an estimated 25 million people, almost a third of the continent's population. Black Death lingered on for centuries, particularly in cities. Outbreaks included the Great Plague of London in 1665 and 66, in which 70,000 residents died. Rodents, probably more rodents, but residents died. The CDC says there's now only an average of 7 human plague cases per year, and the World Health Organization says that the mortality rate is estimated between 8 and 10% because of modern medicines. Whew. Just thought that was interesting. Yeah, we'll go over that one later. The Infinity Ward, going over some gaming news. They renamed Warzone's Border War skin. So, Modern Warfare's latest patch gives the skin a new name and description, but no other changes. Infinity Ward renamed one of the multiplayer skins in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. After weeks of public outcry, the original version of the skin was called Border War. The skin featured D-Day, a Texan trooper, in-game operator with a bulletproof vest that said police on the front and had a weapon in his hand, usually, depending on whatever the player had equipped. And the description of the skin read, "Show them the error of their ways and make them pay with D-Day's Border War operator skin." Wow. Controversy over the skin began to boil over after Infinity Ward added the Black Lives Matter statement to the game in the wake of the George Floyd protests. Fans noted that if Infinity Ward was going to support call for racial justice, it is odd that the company would also include skin with a seemingly direct threat towards undocumented immigrants. Infinity Ward, after a long time, seemed to finally agree with the criticism and has changed the skin somewhat. After patch on Tuesday, the skin now has been renamed and given a new name. The skin, which features D-Day in a cowboy hat, is now called Home on the Range. Well, hello. How's it going? The operator description says, play along with the deer and the antelope with Home on the Range D-Day operator skin. Vast difference from the first one. I guess their public relations person says, let's just totally rename it and then we'll ignore what we said before. Nothing else about the skin has apparently changed. Infinity Ward outlined the changes in the game's patch notes, which read, renames D-Day's Border War skin and bio. The tactical vest labeled police, which is a little bit less fitting, though the context of the vest has now changed, given the skin's new name. So they still have police on the vest, but changed it to where the deer and the antelope play, I guess. That's weird. All right, well, so with, is it Oval Scissors? Oval Scissors saying, what's up? We must have 49 followers now on Twitch. Holy cow. We do. We're so close. Just one more and 5 people talking all at the same time and all of that foolishness will be over. Yeah, we're almost there. It's so close. So let's see. We'll go out from Vox, different website. They covered information. Good morning, Kate. Kate is my wife. She is there with Puppy Kitty. There was an article, we briefly talked about the virus being aerosolized and what that can mean last time as far as COVID-19. So the World Health Organization reworded after research saying that not that it is airborne transmitted, but yeah, we all know about the cat now. Said that instead of it saying it's not airborne transmitted, it said cannot be ruled out. And then it goes on to explain, yeah, he's a lover and a pain in the ass. It goes on to explain that particles of different sizes, whereas larger and medium-sized droplets that are expelled, whether through a cough or a sneeze, can eventually fall to the ground within 6 feet. The smaller, and it puts in quotes, drier particles can be suspended in the air for longer periods of time, like regular dust particles in your house, is the way that they put it. So they had a study in China where they had a large outbreak from one particular restaurant, and they went in and tested the air movement of the air conditioner in there, and it was a slow-moving air conditioner. They were able to plot from one of the first infected people, and it traveled 3 to 4 tables away, infecting someone sitting at the third and fourth table, due to the fact that the air wasn't circulating or fast enough, or did not have a way for the air to be vented. So there was air movement, but not air evacuation and a way for those particles to escape. So they were actually swirling around longer, and the tables were definitely farther than the 6 feet. So in Washington State, one person at a choir practice infected 52 people, and let's see, choir and participants thought that the singing could have led to the virus lingering in the air longer. Carefully controlled laboratory studies are also suggesting that under the right indoor conditions, the SARS-CoV-2, which is the virus that causes COVID-19, can float in the air to a certain degree and spread aerosolized. So World Health Organization changed its language to recognize that fact, labeling it as short-range aerosol transmission, particularly in specific indoor locations and crowded, inadequately ventilated spaces for prolonged periods of times with infected persons cannot be ruled out. Previously, the organization maintained that airborne transmission was unlikely to occur outside of a hospital setting, but now there are procedures that can generate outside of the hospital where super small particulate can linger in the air longer due to linger in the air longer than large respiratory particulate. All right. Yep. So that's why COVID units are negative airflow in all areas and negative pressure in rooms. So, yeah, bot mom. Apparently that's fake news because scientists don't know anything. You know, all they do is sit around and read books. How could they know anything, right? Insert large eye roll. And Kate supports your statement. So Um, yeah. This change comes after a letter that appeared in the Journal of Clinical Infectious Diseases, co-signed by 239 scientists and engineers who implored the World Health Organization and other public agencies that it's time to address the transmission of COVID-19 with the WHO recognition of this mode of transition. The authors hope that communities can think more about ventilation of indoor spaces and perhaps engineer solutions to make these spaces safer. So a lot of these terms are confusing. Even scientists admit they don't necessarily answer the questions that lay people care about. However, which air is safe to breathe during COVID-19 and which is not safe? To answer that question, it's helpful to understand two different scientific perspectives on the matter. One is that what physically happens to a sick person that breathes, sneezes, or coughs into a room, and what patterns have epidemiologists observed in the way that people are exposed to that virus and how they get sick. So it goes further in depth into big drops, little drops, and their level of moisture. If you go to the Discord, the article is in the news medic is sharing section. Right now it's right on top. It might not stay right on top, but right now it's on top because it was just created. And it does go in fairly in depth into particulate sizes, what it would take to transmit. And I mean, essentially, if you have particulates small enough to be suspended in the air, think of it like the dust in your house, how you're watching through a stream of sunlight, just that stuff that's just slowly moving around your house. That is the size of those particles, and they're just hanging. They're dry enough to move around in the air, but they're also wet enough to let the virus live. Facebook's doing some goofy stuff on my phone for some reason. I don't know why. All of a sudden, either that or the phone screen is blacking out. One of the two. Well, we might lose Facebook. But anyway, pop back over to chat. Free floating virus, fantastic. Yeah. She's going to go live underground now. Well, as long as your underground has enough airflow, you could actually, need to take that into consideration, because being underground without air circulating around, same problem. So you could just make that work above ground, then you can stay where you're at. Got the puppy dog. She's not feeling it. She's going to go lay on the couch. When she needs to do a puppy check, she'll come over and do a puppy check. So yeah, good news. Good news there, I guess, huh? So now let's go back to Discord. And one of these other items that I was going to cover, to me, it pertains directly to mental health. Other people are going to say that I'm picking on the president, basically, but I've got to apparently let the New York Times have my email address, otherwise I can't read the article for free. All right. Oh, for continue without subscribing. Okay, can I have my article back? There we go. So, the White House called a news conference. Trump turned it into a meandering monologue. The whole article goes on for quite a while. It was written by Peter Baker. It was updated this morning at just before 7 Eastern time. So, in theory, President Trump summoned television cameras to the heat-baked Rose Garden early Tuesday evening to announce measures against China to punish it for its oppression of Hong Kong, but that didn't last long. What followed instead was an hour of presidential stream of consciousness as Mr. Trump drifted seemingly at random from one topic to another, often in the same run-on sentence. Even for a president who rarely sticks to a script and wanders from thought to thought, it was the most rambling performance of his presidency, in this writer's opinion. He weighed in on China and coronavirus and the Paris climate change accord, crumbling highways, and then China again, back to military spending, China again, coronavirus again, and then to the economy, energy taxes, trade with Europe, illegal immigration, and his friendship with Mexico's president. And then it went back to the coronavirus again, crime in Chicago, death penalty, climate change, education, historical statutes. And he then said we could go on for days. And at this point, it sounded very plausible, the writer says. So it was at times hard to understand what was being meant. Says he seemed to suggest that presumptive Democratic challenger, former Vice President Joseph R. Biden Jr., would get rid of windows if elected, and later that Mr. Biden would abolish the suburbs, as he complained about Mr. Biden had gone so far right, in quotes. I believe he meant left. Even for those who follow Mr. Trump regularly and understand his shorthand, it became challenging to follow his train of thought. So, when someone appears to be so mentally out there, if this was an everyday normal person, when I say normal, I mean if this was somebody on the street and they were having this diatribe, and if they appeared to be disturbing the peace, this person would be taken and evaluated for mental health. If it was you or me, we would be taken and evaluated for mental health. Another thing, it says, for instance, in discussing cooperation agreements with Central American countries to stop illegal immigration, he had this to say: we have great agreements where when Biden and Obama used to bring killers out, they would say, and this is a direct quote, Biden and Obama used to bring killers out. They would say, don't bring them back to our country. We don't want them. Well, we have to. We don't want them. They wouldn't take them. Now with us, they take them. Someday, I'll tell you why. Someday, I'll tell you why. But they take them, and they take them very gladly. They used to bring them out, and they wouldn't even let the airplanes land if they brought them back by airplane. They wouldn't let the buses into their country and said, we don't want them. Said, no, they entered our country illegally, and they're murderers and they're killers in some cases. At that point, he decided to take a jab at Mr. Biden's mental acuity and let them define the word carbon because he won't be able to, Mr. President said. That's been the theme of his lately, unsubtly implying that Mr. Biden has grown senile. Just last week, Mr. Trump, 74, boasted that he had recently taken a cognitive test and aced it, while Mr. Biden, 77, couldn't pass such an exam. So this, hello, hey, what's up? Got Mrs. Sticky Days, Dadpool, Bot Mom is welcoming them. Sounds good. Let's see. Let's go back here. So yeah, Bot Mom makes a good point. As much as I personally don't care personally for Trump, sometimes I feel bad for him trying to be the president. In the state of the world today, he's probably going literally insane, and it shows when he does his speeches by the things that he says. Yeah. I mean, it's very hard it was very hard to follow him before. And with the pressures that people get put under in that job, look at like the life casts from Abraham Lincoln and his death masks. And it was not that long of time. I mean, it looks like those things were taken 20 years apart, and they weren't. A very short time frame. You look at all of the presidents, like look at pictures of Obama, there was no gray in his hair, and he wasn't dyeing his hair, he said at the time. And by the time he was done with his second term, he was mostly gray. It's tremendous stress. Well, when you have somebody that's already questionable as far as his ego and everything, he didn't have that healthy of an attitude to begin with, right? Oh, that's why the phone decided to go sideways. It's because it was dying. But yeah, well, we'll just leave Facebook off for now. Hopefully they got the message to switch over to Twitch or one of the other ones. Yeah, let's see. I wouldn't want a job where the weight of the country and the eyes of the country are on you. Mrs. Sticky Days says, have very little power to actually do something. He can do things, I know, but not what the people want directly, so any president will get slack for that. Yeah, I mean, they call them ways and measures for a reason. There's 3 branches of government for a reason. Yep, stress does a lot. I'm 34, gray chest hair, stressful kids. Yeah, exactly. I said that I was an anxious kid and that I was anxious early on as an adult. I mean, I don't know if anxiety and stress had anything to do with this, but this started going gray in, my early 30s, late 20s. So, I mean, my brother that's, let's see, he's like 14 years older than I am, still isn't this gray. People don't understand how government works, and they think that all it takes is to get elected, and it's not like that exactly. There's procedures, and I don't think that the current president really thought that way either, thought that he could just force things through because, I'm the president. And it doesn't work that way, and whenever it doesn't work that way, he does what other Americans do, and he throws a fit. And it doesn't help. There's still the procedure you have to go through. So, yeah, it's like Sticky Days has grays and only 25 this year. Yeah. Bot Mom says, poor Sticky. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. What I hate to, yeah, he's basically a CEO, and I don't think he personally has a whole lot of say. Yeah, I mean, essentially. And if, for the very reason why some people elected him is, oh, well, he's rich and he has several companies. But if you look at the way that those things were run, if any of them started to turn bad or started to look bad or lose money, you just tanked them, either closed them down, shut them down, or filed bankruptcy for that particular company so that he wouldn't lose money. And I mean, left people without jobs, left contracts unpaid. So my point is, he wasn't a great CEO either. So, but anyway, so let's see. Yeah. Okay. Well, Bot Mom, decided to put a byline, so that doesn't make him less of an idiot. By the way, he goes about the way he goes about things. There's a way to say things without causing a drama fest. Well, and that's partly, if you read the way that his father did business, if you read the way his father did business and the way his father conducted himself, and look at the source, it was how his father, even in Europe, did business. Basically, it was easier to deny that anything was wrong and stop whatever bad was going on, or redirect attention to something else while you took care of it. Yeah, the Facebook, my phone died. And so now I got to wait for the phone to charge back up so that I could put it back on. Having Facebook separate, it's getting to be a pain in the butt. I want to include, I've got YouTube, Twitch, Mixer for now, and Facebook. But Facebook has to be done separately for economic reasons, and it's actually one of my less high performing platforms too. I want to include them, but at the same time, it'll be easier when we have different equipment. So anyway, back to what I was thinking. From this, the rest of this article, just the last line that I'll read from it, because it's quite extensive, and it goes into all kinds of stuff. The guy was like, I have to write an article. In my mind, I'm thinking he said, I have to write an article so long. And I had this disjointed monologue going on where it's a treasure trove of information. I can't write an article, so he had to go back and go over and dissect it and bring things in that would make sense. I don't know. Let's see if I can get the... and I love this. Sam, this Samsung cable, if I plug it in turned one way, it won't charge. That was the problem. Or it charges so slowly that the phone will die anyway. So now we're back on. Hopefully the battery will keep up and we'll just go back live on SeazndMedic. Sorry, quick break. Live. The phone trying to charge got warmer than my fingers, apparently. I'm just not even going to put a description. I'm just going to go back live. All right. So the last part says the disjointed monologue, however, may not have been the most convincing evidence of his criticism of his running mate. On Twitter, his critics quickly compared him to a grandfather who had broken into the sherry cabinet. Trump is truly a sick individual, wrote Jon Favreau, who was President Barack Obama's chief speechwriter. Rick Wilson, a founder of the Lincoln Project, a group of anti-Trump Republicans, called it a rambling verbal dysentery. But this isn't the important point, is the appearance came on the same day as the president's estranged niece, Mary L. Trump, a clinical psychologist, published a scathing book questioning his mental health and asserting that pathologies stemming from childhood are now playing out on the world stage, and that Mr. Trump has not commented about the book, but in the past he has rejected such contentions by describing himself as a very stable genius. Well, very unstable people have considered themselves very stable and very sane in the past as well. So the focus of the evening session, reporters took a turn after Mr. Biden received extensive television coverage earlier in the day for his $2 trillion climate plan, according to a senior official. And who spoke on condition of anonymity, the Hong Kong Autonomy Act, the ostensible reason for his appearance, was treated as an afterthought. So when, let's see. Well, yeah, he has seen clinical psychologists at Bethesda Medical Center, and his alleged personal physicians gave him a test and deemed him sane. But you take a look at pictures of that particular physician, and the things that he said afterwards were just as disjointed as this article. So unfortunately, the weight of his persona and his influence in business and personal finance, I believe that even the doctors at Bethesda didn't want to discredit him because they would like to, have a job later. Yeah. It's like, do you think he would listen? I don't. Yeah. He's a narcissist. Completely. And that's the way that his father was. It's like there were quotes from his father that basically said, if you don't like what people are saying, just pretend it doesn't exist. Probably not. Laugh out loud. There's also no one who would be unbiased either. Yeah, I mean, politically and financially, it would be a suicide to, especially as a doctor at a military medical facility, to say, yeah, this guy's not mentally sound. when he's just sound enough to cause you great financial hardship. It's just public evidence like this. If it were anybody else that came out and had this rambling, disjointed conversation and never actually got back to the topic that they were there for, even when they were asked questions about it, said that the rambling went on for, there was only questions were answered by or asked and answered by 4 or 5 reporters at a press conference. The rest of the almost 2 hours just went on as a diatribe. It's like, see, Dad Poole says he definitely has narcissistic tendencies. I was diagnosed with narcissistic rage, and I only think of myself when I get angry. So it definitely could be the case. This whole, like I said on Monday, the whole COVID-19, let's open the country back up and get the economy rolling and every quote that came out was all either I or me or Republicans or the presidents or the economy. I need the economy to be good so I can get reelected, is essentially the message that was going in. And now Florida, Texas, Arizona are all paying the price. Texas had an all-time high yesterday, over 10,300 cases. Their previous was like 10,015. Their previous record. Florida was over 15,000 over the weekend. I don't even know what their numbers were yesterday and the day before because I just didn't look. It's just too overwhelming, you know? Yeah. Every time I turn my phone, it's going to make that little chirping noise if you can hear it in the background. Yeah. Bot Mom lives in Florida, and she says she can't even look at the numbers. It's too frightening at times. It's too much. Florida last 2 days was over 15,000 each day. Yeah. And then here's to throw a wrench into that topic. I'm going to grab another cup of coffee real quick, but I'll throw this out here again. These articles, I posted them on the Discord, links to them all. So the title is, "A Texas ICU nurse is hospitalized with COVID-19 after testing negative." Yeah. 24-year-old healthy nurse is unsure from whom she may have picked up the virus. It doesn't say where, whether it was at work or not, because later in the article it makes some statements that I'll point out too. But so an ICU nurse, a trained individual, still was able, got COVID-19, got hospitalized, luckily early in time. So let me take a quick break for, just long enough to make a cup of coffee, and I'll be back. Okay. I'll be right back. was going to say, after gaming for so long and wearing a headset, it feels strange to not have the headset on, but there's no reason for it because, I'm not having any auditory feedback from anything, so why wear the headset, I guess. All right, let me catch up on what was said while I was out there. Dadpool says his coffee's brewing. Pop Mom, it freaks me out because my parents are older. My dad is on medication that suppresses his immune system. He's already gotten pneumonia twice. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Having COVID parties and betting on who gets sick first or that they won't get sick. Yep, thought it was fake. Having a rave party offline. Yeah, that's Stream Beats from Harris Heller. Stream Beats, if you guys don't already know, is completely free. Harris has even written a license that he has available on Alpha Gaming on Discord that you can download, and it basically has all the legal hoopla. It says that I absolutely 100% am not charging this person, this site, this whatever to play my music, because he figured out that he gets paid royalties whenever this gets transmitted and it gets found in the public space. He gets paid a royalty, all right, from the broadcast, from the not from like Twitch or whatever, but I don't know how it works necessarily, I guess, but he gets paid a royalty. Well, he doesn't want to charge the streamers, but he'd be more than glad to take money from Spotify or from whomever ends up getting the music through. But you can download the music files directly to your computer too and play them from your computer. So I don't know how he gets paid, but yeah, there was no rave going on. It's just the music. It's the only thing that Alexa's good for is to be a external speaker. Yeah, I said your name, but you're useless, so just play music. Yeah, lit coffee time. All right, let's see here. Yeah, Dadpool said in his brain that her dad doesn't get sick. So we're all part of Graveyard Streamers Underground, which is a group on Facebook. Very supportive people of all different varieties. I mean, stream everything, and maybe even some that don't stream anything anymore. So, yeah, no espresso shots. Not here, not today. Yes, I did share it. But once again, if they, sorry. If it comes from other people, maybe your fan base accepts it more than somebody they don't recognize, I guess. I've had people that have gifted me subs to other people that I've never watched before, but I got messages from, and they were from Mixer, like, I recognize your name. I think that I watched you play this at one time. I'd like you to see if you like this guy. It was messages from two different people that way. One of the streamers, very nice person that I was watching, but couldn't listen to her for very long. She just streams stuff that I don't play or that I don't find interesting. And her streams are different enough for me that I just don't know that I would watch her for very long. I'm sure that outside of those particular gaming situations would be a totally different experience. But yeah, Twitch has been a definite different community to come into, where people will gift subs of their $5 subscriptions to another streamer. You'd gift a sub to somebody and say, hey, come watch this guy, I like him. And I think that's quite interesting to me that people do that. And economically, I'm wondering how much better that is for the streamer to have someone come in and possibly bring someone that would never have visited before and have a connection to all of the people that I'm just thinking, like, if the graveyard streamers, if I gifted 5 subs to different people that did different genres, how much that would change that particular streamer's fan base, you know? Let's see, try to catch up here. I really enjoy the Twitch community, actually. Everyone said it was too toxic. I can see that for some games, but definitely a majority of people out there are pretty cool. Yeah, and especially we've started calling ourselves mixer immigrants. The mixer immigrants mixing in with the other like-minded people have right now created a very non-toxic situation. Now Bot Mom's on Facebook, and she says, yeah, I'm warming up to the whole Twitch thing as well. The larger streamers are the ones who get the bad trolls. Right. I mean, and some of them, I mean, I watch a streamer on Facebook because he does role play. What am I thinking? Grand Theft Auto 5 role play. Omar Alof. He's hysterical. He's got a contagious personality. He's funny, but he doesn't have moderators in his chat. He relies on the somewhere between 500 and 1,000 people to patrol and tell him when something's bad. I really don't like that part. I mean, if somebody makes a horrible statement and it stays up there and nobody says anything, every time that gets replayed, that statement gets associated back with that group. And I mean, that toxic person could have been in there just for that one statement and then left. Says, yeah, people come to the smaller streams as well because smaller streamers actually speak to them. Yeah. And at the same time, Omar, I'm not trying to get you to go watch him or whatever, because I don't get anything from him, but money-wise. But his chat goes so fast. Same thing with some of the larger streamers on Twitch. Their chat goes so fast that only the alerts that they have set up that's connected to something else that appear on a separate screen do they have a chance of seeing. Otherwise, it's just a stream of lights going by, and there's no, I mean, had one streamer say, all right, everybody type in the word one. Just type in the word one and then hit enter. And then type in one again and hit enter. And see how many people there are in between your first one and your second one. It says, and then try to pick out one, your own thing to find. He says that's what it's like for me to try to read chat. Yeah, I do like the role play, and I will do it. I bought a computer copy of Grand Theft Auto, and I don't even have a computer to run it yet, but it was on sale, and I figured it was a good investment at the time, even if it doesn't necessarily work. It wasn't that much. It was enough to buy a Big Mac meal and maybe half another Big Mac meal. You know what I mean? And she says, but too chicken to play it though. I think that if you stream it without the camera and you just get into the character, that you would probably be surprised. Or even if you don't stream it, and if you just go and play it for a while and see if that character develops into something in that community, then I bet you'd feel more comfortable with it. You'd let you have a socially acceptable alter ego. Really? So, yeah. And everybody should have some form of moderation. Yeah, I mean, there are automatic filters and things out there, but the things that have come through on his chat that people were freaking out about, what? What do you mean, like Dadpool? What do you mean by that? I don't filter you out. As you can see, it came through. What was I thinking? You can have keywords that get filtered out, but if somebody spells them wrong, somebody spells them slightly different, you have to think of every iteration of that word. And Omar doesn't have that even. And so those things that come through, they come through and they're there. And technically by his Facebook agreement, if he doesn't find those and filter them out, he could actually lose his monetization, if not his channel sometimes, depending. Oh yeah, exactly. Playing a character. Yeah. And it's just like all of the names on here. I mean, Mrs. Sticky Days, Dadpool, Bot Mom, Kate the Great, SeazndMedic. It gives you the option to be, and me talking just like this, I could be totally different than I am in person. I can create a persona. I appear to be like an authority figure, a well-informed person, and that too can be a double-edged sword. I could be up here saying all kinds of falsehoods and pointing people in wrong directions, but all because I have a camera pointed at me and I have a miniature broadcasting studio available to me, and so does everybody. All right, everybody that has access to a computer or a phone or whatever they have a mobile broadcasting studio. But in a healthy way, it allows you to create a persona that you could put out there, as long as it's a healthy, cathartic thing. Like I said, this streaming for me, getting feedback, having people actually understand, or even those that like challenge the ideas, and allow me to show my train of thought and allow them to express their train of thought. It's healthy for me. I feel better after doing it. I get really anxious on my way to do it and getting set up. By the time I click go live on everything, I feel pretty anxious when I first start. But now I'm feeling very comfortable. I feel very good. When I end the streams, I do feel that adrenaline dump, kind of, that I'm tired feeling, I need to take a nap kind of a feeling. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. I do feel that because the energy is just rapidly dissipates. And I would kind of like to do this every day, but at the same time, I'm not sure if I have enough material and if enough people would be interested in doing the same thing all the time. And I would like to get my gaming back on without ruining my numbers on the streams. You know what I mean? I would like it to help support itself, but at the same time, I would like people to feel that they could come in and chat and talk about these very same things if I was sitting here with a controller in my hand and we were, farming in Farm Sim, or if I'm playing Call of Duty. I mean, in between sets of having to communicate with team members on Call of Duty, we could be talking about these things, having a full computer setup will make a difference. And once I get used to how it works, I think that it would. But do the same thing when I play a character, but sometimes I get anxious. My palms sweat before I go into character. Yeah. And have so much energy after I stream. I feel try it on stream. It's weird. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's an outlet. And just like anything else in life, you get out of it what you put into it, as long as you keep it at a healthy level. I think some people go in whole hog and they don't start streaming slow. They buy all this equipment, and when money doesn't automatically start rolling in, they think that they're going to be the next Darkness 429 or the next Shroud, or I won't say that other word that used to be on Mixer. And when money doesn't come right back in, they feel as though they're a failure. But it's if that's what you're going in for as a personal enterprise and going to replace your income, and you're going to be able to sit in front of your monitor or your TV and make money, it's not going to happen for everybody. But if you're looking to create a small community or a medium-sized community that grows into a large community that has a purpose and a function, I think it's fine to be small. It's fine if it gets big. Hopefully everything stays manageable. I mean, so right now we have 6 people on Twitch, at least according to the numbers that I get. Got 6 people on Twitch. If we had one more follower, we'd have our 50, and we've got at least 5 people going through chat. I would get my affiliate, So, but at the same time, and what do I get with my affiliate? We get the ability to put other stickers out there, other emotes and whatnot, the ability for people to donate money or donate small amounts of money or subscribe. Yeah, exactly. It's definitely not easy. Yeah, it's really not easy. People don't think, oh, here we go. Congratulations, you've received 100 messages today with Reinstream Chat. It's not easy. People don't realize how uncomfortable it can be to be on this side of the camera when you're used to being on that side and being able to say whatever you want, whatever you know, without repercussions other than maybe you get banned from that one site and you take your toxicity to another site. Yeah, that's awesome to have 100 exchanges, you guys talking to each other. And it's mostly the activity that I'm getting. I'm not seeing anything from YouTube right now, but some days I get stuff from YouTube, and like that guy that was from, I'm going to say it wrong. He was near the Himalayas. What's from Nepal? He was talking to us from Nepal and explaining, oh yeah, we don't have a lot of COVID problems here. What we have problems is getting medical supplies, food, keeping the power running right now because the people that they depend on from China and from India aren't traveling due to COVID problems in their own country. So it says getting medical care and getting supplies and getting power for everyday living is their main problems in Nepal, and they're not getting the travelers coming through, so their economy is suffering that way too. And we would never have even thought of it that way from our side because, we're not in Nepal. We're not in between China and India. We don't know those things. I mean, I had some insight to it talking to some Nepalese cab drivers in the United Arab Emirates, more people need to find him. Yeah. Thanks. I appreciate it. And more people need to find that guy, and talk to him and be supportive to him. Say, hey, how could we help? The guy from Turkey. It's like, hey, I have this medical problem. My government, he can't say, hey, my government filters all internet transmissions, but that's the reality of it. They filter all internet transmissions. I can look up individual pages unless they've shut them down, but I have to have a direct link. So Vern, he was on YouTube and Twitch and Facebook at that point, and he looked up a bunch of information and gave him some direct links or direct things to look up that probably would make it through. There's just not a doctor. He didn't have access in his section of Turkey to a neurologist that understood his condition. And from this little broadcast, he was able to find information that he could look up at Mayo Clinic, or there was a few other spots just from watching a stream that he just happened to come across off of YouTube. Yeah, I mean, this has been interesting. We've impacted as a small community already. We've impacted 2 people's lives that are across the world from us that we will probably never meet face to face, but yet we've been able to touch their lives off of a little stream of a guy sitting here drinking a cup of coffee, hoping to make himself feel good and helping other people to feel good too. You know what I mean? That was a lot of thinking all right there. So, how was your day? I guess whatever I did killed Spotify because it just decided to go on pause. I don't know why. But there we go. So this has been fun and interesting. I'm back. I shared the stream. Okay, good deal. Appreciate you, Dadpool. Now, Dadpool, you stream on YouTube, all right? Mrs. Sticky Days, where did you stream, or where are you streaming in the future? So yeah, he is on YouTube. Sticky Days is on Facebook. Bot Mom is on Facebook right now. She may become one of the Twitchers. She may make the Twitch switch, or switch to Twitch. See if I can find as many difficult to say phrases in this one stream / podcast as possible. And I mean, some people find you guys originally because of the game that you're playing, but they stick around because of you and your personality and the vibe or karma that you put out into the universe has drawn them to you. It's a very powerful thing, and it can be as powerful as you want it to be. It can be as helpful to you as you want it to be. And yeah, I mean, I started off playing games off of my Xbox and learned I could stream to Mixer, and I did it. Came over. Hello. Came over from the lobby. Drama alarm. Okay, gotcha. So my old eyes, even with my glasses, I'm trying to figure out how to say that name until Mrs. Sticky Days said Drama Llama. I didn't see Drama Llama. I tried to pick stuff apart. I mean, and even after I've read some names after, oh my gosh, we're at 50 followers on Twitch. That's awesome. Let's see, what was this? Ask Bot Mom to add you to lobby behavior. Good deal. We're getting, let's make this chat a party. Awesome, 50, let's go. Yeah, so that's awesome. Now, whether or not we've done it long enough to appease the people that are the people at Twitch, we'll find out. But hopefully, it'll be enough. I mean, this is the first broadcast at 50. First time that we've had more than 5 people chatting at one time. So it may take a couple of times to go through, but we'll see. We'll see if it tells me that I met the criteria and that I'm accepted. But if you're on one of the other platforms that this is broadcasting to, Facebook, YouTube, Mixer, you're going away in less than a week, or exactly a week. Please switch over to Twitch so that you can still see us, so that we can see you. If you are on YouTube or Facebook, send us some comments. Send me comments so that I know that I should keep doing this on multiple platforms, or should I just make the switch to Twitch? And that way, when we do get our PC, that we can just do it all on one location. I don't know. I need feedback from people. If you're seeing this, even a rebroadcast or playing the recording back, if you're getting this on a different platform and you like it, and you're not on Twitch, don't want to be on Twitch, you got to send me a message. Yes. Is that Cartman in the background? Yes. It's Eric Cartman. Right now I live on the western slope of the Rocky Mountains in Colorado, and South Park is supposedly based on the Front Range of living in Colorado, South Park, Colorado. And I liked it in the old days. I have not seen it past season 5. So that's Officer Eric. And right now he's wearing my olive operator's cap that you'll see me wear as the flag on the front. This is paramedic on the back. But yeah, that's Eric Cartman, and that's the reason behind it. Basically, it was given to me as a gift, and a lot of my other interesting background stuff is in boxes. It's in boxes waiting to go to our new home in Florida. But what does anybody have anything else interesting to talk about? I covered all of my article. Oh, I didn't cover that article about the nurse, did I? I teased it, and I went and got coffee. Heather Valentine, 24, isn't exactly sure whom she may have picked up the virus from. She told CNN. It's an article from CNN by Alicia Ibrahimji that was updated on the 14th. Tuesday, she was reluctant to even accept that she had symptoms. Valentine was exhausted a week ago after her 3rd daily hospital shift in a row. 3 days in a row. I look at the camera because Kate just did 4. And didn't think much of it until she started getting body aches, a fever, and had a small cough. On Wednesday, Valentine said she took a rapid antibody test, which came back negative. Antibody tests can help identify certain past infections, however, can miss a current infection. Correct, because there's no antibodies yet to be picked up. Yep, Officer Kirkman. So the tests can be wrong half the times, according to the Centers for Disease Control. And it noted that in May, and that's because, like I said, antibodies are not yet present to be detected because you're still actively infected. You have not developed the antibodies yet. So that makes sense. On Saturday, her doctor called, asked her to go in for a CT scan. Between the CT scan results indicating the virus's effect on her lungs and other lab results, Valentine said Vernon told her he was certain she had the COVID-19 virus, even though the swab came back negative. She says, if I would have waited a couple of days, she would have required intubation, which is the tube being put into her lungs and being put onto a ventilator, which is crazy for her to hear as an ICU nurse, she says. This was Saturday's numbers. Saturday, July 7th, actually. It's listed Texas's positive results as 10,351, which was a new record. Okay, no, that was this weekend. 10,351 on this past Saturday was the. With surges in new cases, hospitalization rates across the U.S. simultaneously increasing, causing some emergency room doctors to worry about the immediate future. Yep. There's only so much equipment. There's only so many personnel to take care of people that are sick. Valentine said, well, as a frontline worker, it's been very hard, Valentine said. She and her colleagues are getting tired. They're making every effort to make sure patients are taken care of. The way to fight the virus, Valentine said, is to respect one another and to understand that even though someone doesn't have symptoms, there's still no guarantee that they are not infected. If you have any kind of symptom, stay home, get checked out. Don't wait until you can't breathe to get help, she said. Valentine is still in the hospital, but she's doing much better. She admitted, says, "You never think it's going to happen to you, but I'm a perfect example," she said. "Take every precaution, wear a mask, don't go out if you don't have to. It's not worth it." So that's where I was like, when she said, "Don't go out if you don't have to, it's not worth it." If she's anything like Kate, she doesn't have much life in between work shifts. She just goes from shift to shift, and then the last day, yesterday was her first day off after 4 days of 12-hour shifts, and it's kind of a wasted day because you just don't feel like doing anything. You're tired, you just need to recoup, and today's probably, I don't know, the first day that she feels like a normal person. Let's see. So there was a nationwide shortage of ICU nurses before the virus, and now some have quit to make that number even worse. Right. So some areas, especially communities like ours that don't have an ICU, we've got some lifers that they're a nurse, they live here, they're gonna die here. That's the only reason why we have some experienced nurses in our small community, is because they live here and they're not going to leave. But some other smaller communities, there's a shortage of experienced nurses, plain and simple. There was before there was a pandemic. Now it's even worse. There's a ton of traveling nurses. It's companies that, just like Kate did a short-term contract in Maryland, well, it's a lot more expensive for the facilities, and they don't want to, have to contract with people if they don't need to. Luckily for us, when they chose to cancel the contract after a month, we had saved up enough money that we were able to coast through until she started working in Florida. Because right now, I'm not working. And so far, our plan is for me to not work other than to do stuff like this. It gets a little boring for me, but mental health-wise, I do a lot better when I'm not under stress and tension. My chosen line of work as a paramedic or a respiratory therapist, there's a lot of tension, or there's a lot of stress there. And I was trained to react to it, and I'm trained to deal with it. But the aftermath of small things building up over time was more than evident, even in this small community here. I was taking a lot of shifts, wasn't seeing a ton of patients, but having to be mentally alert and ready to go at all times, and then having to run through multiple scenarios in my head while we were responding 30, 40, 60 minutes away from the hospital, transport time, having to go through all the scenarios in my head on the way out there to see what I was going to be treating, and then actually transporting people or calling air ambulances for those that I wasn't going to be able to help or our hospital couldn't support. It took its toll. And so our plan is to have me do stuff like this. And I mean, I would like to turn into a public speaking opportunity for groups if that comes to fruition. We have the streams. where we can talk and do this interchange, exchange of ideas and whatnot. And I love that. I like the idea of going back to gaming too, doing gaming streams, but I'd also like to go out and address people directly about mental health issues, how important it is to basically seek help, even just your average everyday person that should still maybe see a therapist every once in a while, just for a little venting, a little checkup, make sure that all your processes are going well and that you don't develop depression, you don't develop, anxiety, panic disorder before you seek help. You know what I mean? There's therapists for therapists. There's psychiatrists for psychiatrists. There's people that just specialize in everything. I just want to be a peer support person, not just for emergency services people. I can identify very well with emergency services and hospital people, but I want to talk to anybody that wants to talk. So hopefully maybe that turns into something in the future. When I'm gaming with people and all they hear is my voice, they don't know that there's a 49-year-old guy sitting on the other side of the controller that's playing the very same game, that probably was playing games before they were ever born, but it's different. And one streamer that I watch, he said, well, I'm 28 years old. His persona that he projects, the grouchiness and negativity sometimes, and his general voice, he does not sound like a 28-year-old guy. I thought that he was in his late 30s. No, yeah, this Mr. Meat Muncher on Facebook. He used to do the Grand Theft Auto role playing, but apparently their server must have crashed or something's not working well, because they're not doing those streams anymore, and I haven't asked because it was a touchy subject when they stopped doing stuff on a different server in the first place. But he's 28 years old. I thought he was a hell of a lot. I thought he was at least 38. But some things make more sense now that I know that he's 28. Not a ton of life experience on his end, but now I know why. He's 28. He's not 48, But anyway, so this ICU nurse, she doesn't know if she contracted at work. It's probably highly likely that she did, or whether she contracted it out in everyday life when she wasn't quite maybe as hypervigilant as she is at work. I don't know. So if you are showing signs and symptoms similar to flu and aren't sure, get tested before you start having respiratory distress, because Kate has told me stories of people that come in, they're younger, they were in good health before, they come in because now they're in respiratory distress, their lungs aren't working well, they go from needing some support to being on a ventilator, and some of them just dying within hours to days. So don't wait for the severe symptoms if you've got them. If you've got fever, if you've got cough or the sneezing, that some respiratory irritant, especially the coughing, and you're showing signs for long enough period of time to say, yes, this is a virus, or yes, this fever goes away and comes back. It's not just a one-time thing. seek help, get tested, and monitor your condition, because this person, she didn't test positive before she was hospitalized. She still didn't test positive when she was first hospitalized. So, all right. Anything else that you guys want to discuss this morning going on to afternoon? Let me know. Like I said, all the chat that we've gone through today has come from Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube, put in a comment. It'll pop up on my screen. It'll say that it's from YouTube. If you are on Facebook and you are getting these, put a comment in Facebook if you'd like it to stay on Facebook. If we're getting comments after it's been put back out on Facebook or YouTube, maybe we just put the rebroadcast or we put the recording on there. But right now I'm getting most activity from Twitch. Excited about that. I'm happy about that. But if you're accessing this from YouTube or Facebook, I'd like to know if we should keep putting it back out there on those platforms live, or if we should just put recordings out. It's up to whatever feedback we get. If you do join the Discord and you don't have automatic permissions to what you're trying to access, just send me a message in Discord and I'll fix the permissions. I'm still getting that all straight. The Discord is, right now, it's like 7 people, so it's pretty manageable. But let me know if you join the Discord and you don't have the right permissions, and I'll make sure to get that straightened out too. What else can I tell you this morning? Anybody have any questions on any of the articles that we went through? Some of you missed the first ones, but like I said, they're in the Discord. They're under the heading of news that Medic is sharing. Right now it's on top, but it'll probably end up getting filtered down as we add more content. So the 5 articles that we talked about today, some of them were just brief mentions, but anyway, good times. I guess since we're at the 2-hour mark, it'd probably be a good time to end this. I haven't got these out on podcast yet, but as we get the equipment put together and I can do a more logical edit on everything, we may combine some of these sessions into one podcast, or we just maybe put out shorter podcasts, take out the gaps and my screw ups and everything else, and make me look good for people on the podcast. And that will definitely be a thing, because it's easy to throw all these things in once you've edited the recording, and throw it out on Anchor. On podcast, it'll go out to Spotify and the Apple Store, all the major places, but it'll actually come from Anchor. Drama Llama, I appreciate it. Sorry you jumped in so late. We were having a rocking good time there before, and everything kind of winded down over that last story. But come back. We'll definitely be back on Friday. I had to look to see what day of the week it was. We'll be back on Friday, 9 to 11, usually Mountain Standard Time. So if you're East Coast, that's 11 to 1. Let me know if you guys want to do this in an afternoon or evening thing too. If I can do it for a couple hours in the evening and get more people to show up, or have them be able to stay longer because they're not busy doing something else, let me know. Send me comments. You can also send messages to our email, the SeazndMedic at Outlook.com, season spelled that way. And if you want to share the link to Twitch, spread the word a little bit, that we talk about a little bit of everything, a little pop culture, a little everyday news, and mental health focus. That's what this is all about. All right, Dadpool, appreciate you. Miss Sticky Days, we'll see you. Kate, appreciate you. And we have Bot Mom, that also major contributor to this. I appreciate you. You're here damn near every day, and we appreciate you too. Mrs. Sticky Days, good to talk with you. See if I don't miss anybody else. I know that there was more than that, but I must be missing some. But what was it? Bot Mom, get into the Discord so we can continue to hemo him grow. Hemo? The Discord, my Discord channel is this. The discord.gg/STWZXVR. I don't know if the capitalization is necessary or not, but there it is. If you have trouble getting connected to there, you can always send an email to the SeazndMedic at Outlook. But there's the Discord channel. And I do moderate for a couple of other streamers. I'm Discord manager for the Drew League. Drew's on Twitch. He does a lot of COD, streaming some Halo, a lot of first-person shooter games, but he also does other games too. And his Discord is very active. I also try to moderate for Raging Fire, also on Twitch. They're both really big supporters of our stream too, and I appreciate them. All right, guys. Wow. Discord channel. Drama Llama. Help. Oh, help. There we go. I appreciate you. Says I'll have to get a link. My link is broken. Seasoned. We have a group of streamers on all platforms that we support each other. Appreciate you. So that link that I am sending out is broken. Bot Mom shared you there. A few came to the show. Hope you get affiliated soon. Appreciate you. And Sticky Days, you can add me back to the chat group if you'd like, and that'll work. All right. So, my Discord link is broken. So your Discord link. Okay. All right. Sounds good. I had to end up renewing mine a couple of times and be able to get it to save. Dadpool was talking about the Facebook group one, I believe, that he left. So, you guys, I really appreciate you. You guys can continue the discussions and whatnot in general chat in the SeazndMedic Squad Discord. If you guys join, like I said, if you have problems, anything, I usually try to monitor. I'm monitoring Drew's chat, and as far as his Discord goes as well, make sure that there's no problems, no content violations there. Appreciate all of you that have stopped by. This has been a pretty epic chat time. It's only the second time since we started doing this over the last couple of weeks that we've actually got over 100 messages going through the chat. So this has been great. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go for today. We'll hopefully see you back on Friday, maybe bring some friends, and we'll just keep doing this maybe 3 days a week for the next little bit. Maybe after I move to Florida, we can get a day and night schedule going. Yeah. What did you miss, Bot Mom? Missed what? My diatribe that went on forever? What did you miss? Well, the last part. Oh, okay. The last part was me rambling a lot, so you didn't miss much. But I really appreciate you guys. Like I said, it's been an epic chat. More than 100 messages rolled through. We're probably on our way to 150 now. We got over 50 followers now, I think, in Twitch. Well, we're still right at 50 and 7 viewers right now. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream right now. Appreciate you guys. We'll be back on Friday. I'll try to stay on like as close to 9 a.m. as I can. You bet. Dadpool will probably be on Plunder later, either like earlier in the afternoon or after like 7 o'clock. It's probably best Mountain Time for me. Yeah, if we can continue to grow on Twitch and get our affiliates and get some support that way, it'd be great. And Facebook just died again. Gotta love it. My phone just restarted itself. And but anyway, I appreciate you guys, and as always, I want you guys to have a good day, not just because I said so, but because you guys deserve it. You really do. Thanks. You made my day so much better, and I hope I helped to make your day good too.